Welcome, everybody. I am Mayor Khalil Sarin here in the city of Cleveland Heights, and I am really pleased to see all of you here amidst the cold and the snow. This is, to me, an extremely important event that we have here in the city, an event that certainly predates my tenure as mayor, and I hope will last long beyond my tenure as mayor. It is a time in Cleveland Heights when we reflect on the legacy of a man who not only did important work to advance our country, but represented something even greater than himself. He represented the tactic of nonviolent resistance. He represented a strict adherence to the dignity of all people, represented equity and inclusion and acceptance and love of every single one of us. That was a movement that was bigger than Martin Luther King Jr., and he knew that. And he was willing to give his life because he knew he was putting his life on the line in the advancement of these goals and these principles. And so this is a moment in Cleveland Heights when, as is in accordance with our culture here, we celebrate, we reflect, and we think about how that legacy impacts us today. Now, we have a different prompt every year, and this year, our prompt for the essays, the poetry, and the art was "No lie can live forever." And this is a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., where actually he was quoting someone else in a speech, and the context was that our struggle for equality and for freedom will not take forever. He said, how long? Not long, because no lie can live forever. And we wanted to know what people thought about that, reflected in their art. Now, I know that one of the big lies that our society tries to tell us is the lie of superiority and inferiority, of value and worthlessness. And sometimes our society tries to cast us in one of those categories. People who are given authority and a place at the top of a hierarchy, and people who are cast below them to be controlled. This is a lie. We all have value. Each one of us has intrinsic value as a human being. Each one of us deserves dignity. And this is something that Martin Luther King Jr. stood for. This is something that we here in Cleveland Heights stand for. And before I get to the sharing of our students' work, I want to say that I am impressed by all of you, and I want to encourage all of you to call out the lies when you see them. No lie can live forever, but that is only because there are people who are willing to stand up in the face of sometimes extreme resistance, to call out those lies when they see them. Many of us have some concerns that our country is heading in the wrong direction right now, that there are lies being told that are eagerly accepted by too large a portion of our community. And I don't know that we've ever been in a position where that wasn't true, to be honest, where some portion of us didn't feel that way. In the era of immediate information access, in the era of immediate misinformation and disinformation access, this trend can only be more troubling. And so again, I encourage all of you children and adults alike, to spend your lives calling out lies when you see them, because that is the only way that each of us gets to a place where we can reliably be free, where we can rely on our intrinsic dignity to matter. Somber, right. Okay, so I'm going to move on to our poetry readers tonight. And I want to say, for all of you who are brave to come up here and read your poetry, to show your art, to read your essays, I want to thank you. You are an example for all of us, because all of us need to be bold enough to show who we are, to tell what we think, and to make a place for ourselves in the discourse. So I want to thank all of you who are willing to come up and share yourselves with us tonight. I'll start with Declan Crow, Canterbury Elementary, 4th grade. Declan, please come on up. If you'd like, you can either stand here or move this over to the side. We want people to see. All right.
Just right here.
Yes, indeed.
The truth lives on, inspired by Martin Luther King Jr.'s quote, "No lie can live forever." Some lies are tall, but behind the truth they will always look small. The truth will always be better, no matter the weather. This man, he had a plan. He said something that will live forever. No lie can live forever. If you win with a lie, then you'll never truly rise. When a lie arrives, the truth will come and say its goodbyes. Every lie will eventually die. Some lies may put up a good fight, but the truth will always shine more bright. Lies will lose every time. When we tell the truth, let us be heard like chimes. When the truth does come, less scared we will become. So say your farewells and wish them well, because the lie can live forever.
Give you this certificate of our appreciation for participating in this event and sharing your poetry with us. Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite Rosalind Rourke, Ohio Virtual Academy, 11th grade. Rosalind.
This is a poem I wrote called "Leave No Trace, Please." No lie can live forever, it will eventually wilt and rot. Death is no victory, though. Fallacies always leave a tangled, untiable knot. We trip over the footsteps it left, look back at its path and sour. So remember to watch your step, because its death fed a forever witching hour. If it died of old age, people will think of it the same. If it died by man's hand, people will think of it with shame. Throughout its life, it hung in whispered words, it traveled time and miles. It stained the skin of some, dirtying both Jews and Gentiles. There will be no wake, there will be no mourning. Instead, a new one will be born. A falsehood's death is just forewarning. Be wary now, the offspring whirls through the air. It will live a long life, and no one will it spare. Thank you.
And please accept this certificate of our appreciation.
Thank you.
That was powerful, and it's a reminder that this work never ends. You know, a lie dies, whether it dies a natural death or we kill it off. Another will rise in its place, and the work continues. And that's why we're here with these kids tonight, because we need more people over time to fight this battle. Next up, Cameron Williams, Monticello Middle School, 8th grade. Cameron? Oh, Cameron is not with us tonight, not yet. And so I have been tasked, and I apologize, I'm sure I will not do it justice, but I have been tasked with reading Cameron's poem. Come to Light, a poem by Cameron Williams. We are told it is left versus right. We are told this idea is wrong because of that, and this idea is wrong because of this. Experts with no expertise tell us this. People with money and a microphone. Every word sways opinions, as if people forgot that their brain belongs to them. Rather than listening to those who learned and listened, they listen to those who have been force-fed fake facts that have been cut, cropped, and taken out of context. People that spew this information know that what they are saying isn't right, but all dark that hides in the night comes to light. So, in absentia, I would like to thank Cameron. Please give Cameron a round of applause. And with that, we are going to move on to our next section, our essay readers. To announce the essay readers, we have Councilman Anthony Maddox, Jr. And I neglected, my apologies. I did want to introduce as well. Council President Tony Kuda is here with us as well tonight. So thank you both, Councilman.
Good evening. I have the honor again of reading our essay readers tonight. And before I do the first one, I just want to make sure he is indeed absent tonight. Marshall Breedlove. All right. He is from Monticello Middle School in the 6th grade, and I'm going to read his essay. No Lies Can Live Forever, an essay by Marshall Breedlove. Martin Luther King once said, "No lie can live forever." But what does that simple sentence mean? You can interpret it anything, like no lies can live until you die. But my interpretation of it means that if you lie, there's only a certain amount of time until it gets out. In my opinion, I fully agree with this quote, because in my experience with lying, yes, no one is perfect, almost every single time it doesn't work out in the long run. Because like I said earlier, there's only a small amount of time in which it doesn't come out, a sort of limited comfort. But then the snowball effect happens, in which when you lie, someone finds out. Then they tell another person, and eventually everyone knows that you lied. Because Martin Luther King always believed that lying was similar to a sin, for example, when he said somebody told a lie one day, they couched it in language. They made everything black, ugly, and evil. Look in your dictionaries and see the synonyms of the word black. It's always something degrading and low and sinister. Look at the word white. It's always something pure, high, and clean. Even though he said this in 1965, the world has not changed, even in the slightest. It still relates to the modern world because we are living in a world full of corrupt people and lies. And Martin Luther King knew this. He knew that lies and manipulation were and still are mostly the only way to get what you want. Because even though everyone who really cares advises people not to lie, people still lie, even when the consequences are severe. And it is not a small issue because lying and manipulating people into getting what you want is never going to end as long as people still understand that you will always get what you want by bending and controlling people's minds. It will always be this way until people learn. In short, the message still relates to people of this time because lies never end. People nowadays still lie, and that destroys their careers. This is what Martin Luther King meant. And that is from Marshall Breedlove. All right, and our second essay reader is Perry Noji. Did I say that correct? I want to make sure. Noki. All right. Oh, good. And I'll lower this. You want the stool or you want lowered? You can have it.
The meaning of no lie can live forever? No lie can live forever means that the truth will always be revealed no matter what. In other words, any lie can be told, but the truth will always come out. Never let a lie trick you. They are sneaky. But keep in mind, the truth will sneak out. And I drew a little art, but yeah.
All right, Perry. Great job. And just so you guys know, he is from Canterbury Elementary in the 2nd grade, and I want to give you your certificate. I'm a pastor. I might need one of these at church. All right, our third essay reader is Zoe Shiles from Canterbury Elementary, 4th grade.
Martin Luther King Jr.'s statement, "No lie can live forever," is very important and true. If a lie is made, the truth will always be found no matter how long it takes, and Martin Luther King Jr. knew that. What did he mean? I think that when Martin Luther King Jr. said this, he meant that no matter how believable or convincing the lie is, or however long it lasts, the truth will always be found. People will see the lie for what it is, a lie. Not a single one can go undiscovered. It could take days, weeks, maybe a month or so, but eventually it will be caught. No lie can last forever. Is the statement truthful? You can ask, is the statement truthful? Well, I might not be able to answer for everyone, but I think it is. Any lie I have ever made has been found out at some point, no matter how believable or realistic I've made it. I'm sure that's the case for most things. Lies will be exposed. I 100% agree with Martin Luther King Jr. No lie can go undiscovered forever. How could the idea of no lie apply to today's world? Have you ever wondered what the idea of no lie could be like? It could have a huge impact on the world. If there were no lies, then the world would be a much more happy and truthful place. When there are no lies, there's truth. When there's truth, there's trust. And when there's trust, people can trust one another, and it can help bring people together. The less we trust each other, the more lies will go around. The more we trust each other, the more the truth will cover up the lies and they will disappear. The idea of no lies and what it could do to the world may inspire people to stop lying and simply to be honest. That is what I think the idea could do to the world. In conclusion, this is why Martin Luther King Jr.'s statement is so important and meaningful, and why you should agree and support it.
All right, congratulations. That was awesome. And I think I know what I'm preaching on Sunday, truth and trust. I love it. Congratulations. Let's put our hands together for all of our essay readers one more time. And now I have the pleasure of introducing President Tony Kuda of the Cleveland Heights City Council to do our poster presenters.
So I guess I'm supposed to say something pretty profound. That's a lot of pressure, really. I'm a former teacher, and I volunteer now every Friday at Oxford Elementary School, and I tutor 6 kindergartners. It's really delightful. I do want to talk a little bit about Martin Luther King before I do the presentations, because he meant so much to me. How many grandparents do we have here today? Okay, so we're what, and maybe you guys can explain this to the kids. We're baby boomers. That was the period of time we were born, and we're like the last the last people that were contemporaries with Martin Luther King. He died when he was only 39 years old. He was killed. He was only 39, very young, especially to grandparents. When we look at 39-year-olds, maybe some of you guys think 39 is old, but it might be more like your even probably your parents aren't, even some of your parents aren't even that old. I moved here in 1961, and one of the things that's remarkable to me is that when I moved to Cleveland Heights, Black people did not have civil rights. I mean, it's kind of like, sometimes I just have to like, wow, did I really live before civil rights? And it's like, yes, I did. How you doing, Spider-Man? So when I think about what Martin Luther King was doing, and especially this theme for today, no lie can live forever, I think about the movie Raisin in the Sun. I don't know how many people have seen it, but I would really recommend it. Sidney Poitier, Ruby Dee, great cast. The lie in the movie was that Black people and white people cannot live together because it's like wrong and, you know, against societal norms and so forth. And I don't often think of this either, but I live in Cleveland Heights. I happen to live in a predominantly Black neighborhood. I believe Councilman Maddox and Mayor Sarin live in predominantly white neighborhoods. I don't think that we think about this that often, but it's kind of like no big deal. But in the movie, this family that lived in an apartment was going to move into a house in an all-white neighborhood in Chicago. And there was a man that came to their door and knocked on their door before they moved saying, we'd be willing to buy back your house from you just to not move into our neighborhood. And there was a big dilemma with the family because, you know, they really didn't, part of them didn't want to go where they weren't wanted, but the other part of them, you know, wanted to move into a nicer neighborhood. And I think that's what Martin Luther King did. He spoke to us in a way with the truth. That is what I always felt when I was listening to him. And I was like, I don't know, like just say between 5 and 13. I was 13 years old when he was shot and killed. Those are really impressionable years. The years that you young people are right now, well, you're a little older, just you, but the others are, you know, it's an age where, you know, you remember all those things that happened. And I remember how I felt, and I remember the thing that drew me to him was he said things in a way that made you feel like, oh, right, this is what's right. And that's what young people look for. And that's what parents look for, to teach the kids right from wrong, you know, the truth from a lie. And so I'm really glad that that's the theme. And I'm really glad that in Cleveland Heights, we know the truth, that we all are welcome and we can live together. So I am going to, here we go. So the first, this is all kind of posters and artwork. So I think 3 of the people are not here, but I know that Maya Lou is here. There's Maya. So Maya is in kindergarten at Canterbury. Come on up, Maya. And by the way, kindergarten has become like my favorite now. So would you like to stand on here? All right, come on up. All the way to the top. There you go. And you can talk here and kind of introduce your artwork.
What did I write again? I wrote that I cannot live forever with these. That's what I tried to write. I think I wrote that. And then I wrote yes and no's all around the place. I think that's all.
Okay. And could I show your poster to everybody? All right. So just because you might not be able to see everything here, it says no and yes on here. Did you write that?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's her artwork. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. This is wonderful. Thank you, Maya. And let me give you your award here. Thank you so much. You did a great job. Okay. I didn't even look over here to see it's up here. All right. So next. What did I do? I got a lot of paper up here. Next, we have Daisy Negus, and is Daisy here? No, okay. I guess I can show this. Oh, there it is. So you can see it says, how long, not long, and the time is always right to do what is right. You know, another very profound statement. And work together to keep up what he started. So even though Daisy isn't here, let's give her a round of applause. And Daisy's 4th grade Boulevard Elementary School. Next, we have Larissa Rose. And you can see Larissa is quite the artist, 7th grade Monticello Middle School. And she chose the I Have a Dream speech. And today we celebrate a day for the Black, where MLK stood and fought back. Very nice. So give Larissa a big hand. And last, we have Ava Ward from Boulevard Elementary School, 2nd grade. And her theme is How Long, Not Long. And you see the American flag. And some of that I can't quite make out, but very, very nice job. So give Ava a big hand. All right. Mayor, would you like to come up and close this out?
So next on the agenda is singing "We Shall Overcome," which is a traditional spiritual that we sing since the Civil Rights Movement to make sure that we are reminding ourselves of the truth that we only lose when we stop fighting. We only lose when we lose hope. And so on the back of your programs, we've got the lyrics. I don't think that I'm in any condition to really lead us in this song right now, but I'll do my best. And I hope that I started in a key that makes any kind of sense. So please, if you would all stand and join me in this song. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I Thank you all. Please give yourselves a round of applause for that. Now, before I close us out, I do want to invite all of the kids who are here, whether you presented your art or not, to come up on stage when we're done. We'd love to get a group shot with you and with the council members and with me. And please join us on stage, and we'll give you your certificates as well for participating in this process. But I just wanted to leave us with one last remark. And that is, even if we accept that no lie can live forever, we know that some lies live longer than others, and some lies come back over and over and over again. And that's why the work never ends. But the piece that I want to leave you with tonight, and this is the work that each one of us needs to do every single day, is to recognize that the lies that live the longest are the ones that we tell ourselves. The lies that you tell yourself about you, whether it's the good ones or the bad ones, whether it's the I'm worthless lies, the I can't do it lies, or the lies we sometimes tell ourselves when we look down on other people. The lies that we tell ourselves when we think of ourselves as superior and other people as inferior. Those are the hardest lies to recognize, because you are hearing them from a voice that you trust. So I just want to leave you with that, in this spirit, that when we stop telling ourselves lies and when we stop accepting lies from other people, that is the way that we progress as a society. So again, thank you, all of you kids, for sharing these truths with us. We as adults need to hear them from you, because you will live in a world that we leave for you. You're going to have to make up for the lies that we've told. So thank you so much for being here. Please come on up. Let's have some pictures.